The only thing I don't want is that I don't want anybody to be talking so that you don't look at them. I want
everybody, you need to be quiet from now on.
Yes, and I don't want them to be there so that you don't be looking elsewhere. You need to be you can move, but you need to look straight. You need to be looking here so that you are not looking around like that. You just look here because this is where the thing is happening. This is where the show is happening, Joram.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. Okay, Joram, here we go. I'm going to have to greet a few visitors who are going to be joining us on YouTube, then on Facebook.
Okay.
And then we will start after that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we have the first person here. We have Pastor Nero is here from New York. So you have your first viewer from New York. So have you been to New York before?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Quite a few times.
Okay, that's where your first visitor or your first audience is coming from.
Okay.
Then more people will come in now to join us. And then we are on YouTube. Then we will wait to go to Facebook after this. Yeah. So only Nero has greeted us. I'm sure other people will be greeting us anytime from now.
Okay.
And then okay, we also have Oshi. Oshi, where is Oshi from? Oshi, can you tell us where you are watching us from? I want our hero today, our guest today, to know where you all are watching us from. So, Oshi, if you could tell us where you're watching from, I would really appreciate that. Okay, Oshi is from Glasgow. Then we have Isioma. Where is Isioma? Glasgow is in Scotland, yeah. And
yes, I've been there plenty of times.
You've been to Scotland plenty of times. So
I live in Scotland.
You live in Scotland now?
Yeah.
Oh, right. But you've been to Glasgow many times?
Yeah.
Okay. So Isioma is from Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. Have you been to Atlanta, Georgia as well, Joram?
No, I've not been to Atlanta.
Okay. But you are having English accent. You are not having Scottish accent.
I don't really have a Scottish accent, but more of English accent.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. People in Scotland, but I know that people in Scotland, they have their Scottish accent.
Some people, but not all.
Not all?
No, not all.
What about
not much?
What about in your school? In your school, is it Scottish accent or English accent in your school?
It varies depending on the people who are talking.
Okay, you mean, what about the kids?
Yeah, them too. Some people that are Scottish and have never been to England also have English accents, more Scottish than more Scottish.
Okay, but the teachers, are teachers mainly Scottish or English?
Some of our teachers come from Ireland, some come from America. Only a few are actually from Scotland.
So most of them speak normal accent, not Scottish accent?
Yeah, normal.
Okay, so because you are having normal accent, English accent, really. So I wonder.
But I still sometimes use the Scottish, like, words.
Okay. All right, so we have a few people on YouTube. Now we'll go, we have mommy here as well. Mark Ryan is here. I'm sure that's your mom.
Yeah, hi, Mom.
Mark Ryan, Zira. Is she Zira as well?
Yeah, my mom.
Okay. Then we're going to YouTube now to see the people who are with us on YouTube. I mean, on Facebook, sorry. On Facebook, we've got Adeola Disu here. She's from England. I wish all you people who are greeting us on YouTube, on Facebook, can you write where you are greeting us from, where you are watching us from, so that we could acknowledge you. And also, I wanted the hero today, my guest today, to know where you people are watching from. So if you could tell us where you are watching from, what country you are watching from, we will really appreciate that. Okay, I know that Adeola is from England. Josephine, I don't know where Josephine is watching from. Bumi Benro is from America, is from Texas. Helen is from, I think, America, Texas as well, I guess. Isaac is from England. Olasupo, I don't know where he's watching from. Innocent Magaji is from Abuja, Abuja, Nigeria.
I think I've met him.
Okay, you know Innocent? Pastor Innocent, okay. Now, BC Ola is watching from the United States. From United States. Owoyo, I don't know what country. Dadagbo from London. Fred from UK. Sandra from Stockholm. Oriola is from the UK, I guess. Then we have Prince Paulo watching from India. We have Josephine watching from London. Adejumo from New York. Sally from the UK. Lady Idaosa from the US. Paul Ose is not indicating what country. Alice is watching from Niger. Is it Niger or Niger or Nigeria? Is it Niger or Nigeria? Okay, Paul Ose is watching from Nigeria. Bumi from US. Tina watching from Austria. Then we have Angela watching from Canada. Abiola, I know that she's watching from the US. Agatha Robocome, she's not telling us where she's watching from. Samson is watching from England. Paul Ose from Abuja. Jacob Saleh, I know he's watching from the from the US. Aisha Abdullahi from the US. Tony from the US. Lucky Osage from France. Innocent Magaji from France. Amas Malaga is from Malaga City, Spain. Fawi Bay is watching from the UK. Orenuga from the UK. Ojo Idehem from Spain. Global Lack from Maryland in the US. Samuel is watching from the UK. Isabu from Cyprus. Yeah, so Joram, we have many people from all over the world watching you. And so Joram, tell me, how old are you? What class are you in? And what do you do? Tell me about yourself and about your family.
Okay. My name is Joram Haruna. I'm 11 years old. I'm in primary 7, about to go into high school in August.
You are 11 years old?
Yeah.
And finishing primary school already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to play a lot of football. I try to do as much football as I can in my free time. And I do become a professional football player. I also like reading. I'm one of the top readers in my school.
Reading what?
We have various books from various authors in our school library, and we are given a project of 40 books to read by the end of the term. And some are fiction, non-fiction, some are history books, but it really depends on what the teacher picks.
So how do you know that you are one of the top readers in your class? Or you are the top reader?
Because I have been told.
The teacher said you are the top reader?
If we've got one group of, I think, 5 people, which are top readers in school, and we almost have like, it's more reading than the others or than the rest.
Is your school a football school or just a regular school?
The regular school, but we do the school like has different sports that if children are interested in, they can enroll in any of them. There's football, swimming, volleyball, basketball, cricket, tennis, different sports.
Yeah, so, but when do you practice football more intensely?
Sometimes I do at school, but my own I play for a football club. They have their own pitch, which I train on with the rest of the team.
Okay, you have a club.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you like to play? Do you like to play as an attacker or midfielder or defense?
Midfielder and attacker.
Okay. So what is your... Do you think you are talented or gifted in football, or you just like it?
I do think I'm actually gifted in it because we had tryouts for the club. I'm not everybody pass.
Okay.
But thank God I managed to get through the trial. And so I also like it very much. I enjoy playing it on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. Now, if you get to play professionally, do you think you would like to play for Nigeria or for Scotland?
I don't know.
You don't know yet?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So, anyway, so I heard that you've read my book.
Yeah. Read quite a few of your books.
So it's not just the only one you've read?
No, I've read a couple of your other books.
Okay, can you tell me, do you remember the names of all the books you've read?
I've read Who Am I?
Yeah.
I've read Why You Need to Urgently Be a Workaholic.
Yeah. That will help you to be the best.
I've read How to Create Your Net Worth.
Yeah.
I've read...
You've read this one? Yeah, which one?
Why Not to Work for Uncle Sam.
Yeah, that's 4. And you've read this one. You've read this one we are holding right now.
Yeah, Time Conversion. And Money Will Make You Rich.
And Money Will Make You Rich. Wow, those are very serious books. So which one would be your favorite?
I picked How to Become Great Through Time Conversion because it is actually, I think, the favorite book that I've read by you.
Wow. Okay, so what makes this book your favorite out of all my other books?
Because it's very striking that you know that if you waste your time, you're wasting your life. And I don't think anybody asks someone right now, do you want to waste life? I don't think anybody is. But I know that you would find people wasting their time. And indirectly, that's them saying, I'm wasting my life. And when you lose time, you can't replace it. But there's other things in the world. You can replace any other thing in the world. You can replace money. You can replace clothes. You can anything, but you can't replace time. Once today is gone, it is gone. So if you haven't maximized what you could have done today to make you great in life, then I'm sorry, but you can never get today back.
That's why you think this book is a very important book, right?
Yeah.
I would like to ask you the lessons that you have learned from this book.
I've learned that wasting your time.
About how many lessons do you have?
I've got a few per chapter.
Yes, I want you to go one by one through all of them, right?
Through all the chapters?
Yes.
Okay. So in chapter 1, I learned that greatness is something buy with your currency, and the currency isn't US dollars or euros or pounds. Your currency is time.
Yes.
It's like you giving your the cashier money and he gives you bread,
Right.
but you're giving time and you're getting back greatness.
Beautiful. 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 That's point number one. Next one.
People who become great, I learned that people who become great is because they were able to maximize their time and use their money well. If you give everybody right now 1 million US dollars or pound, some people become great businessmen or women, but then some people will end up back on the streets. And that's because they can't manage their money. And it takes us and time. Everybody is handed 24 hours. Some people become great and some people become known, but not everybody is become as great as they want to be.
Because of the way they use their time.
Yeah. Your life is not like meant to give your time. I learned that if you give your time away to buy a car, like what that means is if you want to buy a car for like $3,000, you're going to have to work. Say you earn £2,000 or dollars a month.
Yeah.
After 5 years of your life to buy a car.
Right.
Or a house. So that's you exchanging all your time in your life for mundane things like cars and houses.
So you are giving away 5 years of your life
to a car.
Just for a car. But many people, you know, Joram, you are talking very serious stuff right here. Because many adult people never thought about that. They never thought about the fact that they are actually exchanging and spending their lives for mundane things like car or like something like that. Yeah.
If someone hears you say, so you're giving 5 years of your life for a car, they're going to find it very silly. But it's the truth. It's the truth.
And they will say it's not true, but they will not believe it.
Okay. Indirectly, it is true.
Yeah.
And another point is that that your time, you might want to be in your bed sleeping when you can be developing yourself. And one person that I've learned about is Michael Jordan.
Right.
He woke up 2 hours every day in the morning before school just to go to the park to shoot basketball hoops.
Yep.
And I can say that Michael Jordan would have wanted to be in his bed that cold 2 hours before school. But he didn't care about spending that time in bed. Instead, he wanted to develop himself with that extra 2 hours per day. Because he could have easily said, the time I do after school is already enough. But he wanted to add all time he had into basketball. And now if I say Michael Jordan, you know who he is because of he's a great person for what he does.
Beautiful. Is that the kind of thing you want? Is that the kind of effort you want to put into soccer for you to be the best, one of the best?
So that's what some of the things I learned in chapter 1.
Right.
So in chapter 2, I learned the secret of all people that is great is knowing what to do with your time. Because a lot of people don't know what to do with their time. Again, like I gave that example of $1 million. Some people spend it, buy a car, buy a house, buy just basic things. And that's it, the money runs out. When you can use that $1,100,000 someone has given to you to invest, even £10 or $10, that if you save up, you can easily use that for better things. For instance, I heard of Michelangelo. He used his time very wisely. He would have obviously wanted to do things that people want to do. Want to go and play, want to go and sleep, go and eat in a restaurant. But he instead locked himself up and created great things, paintings, and like again, you hear the name Michelangelo, you know that he's a great person in history because of how he invested his time.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Many people think that greatness is coming from money,
Or
but
luck.
or luck.
Luck.
But from
I
this,
told my dad that
so,
I think luck is man-made fiction.
say that again.
Luck is man-made fiction because there's nothing like luck. If you want to be great, it's just all about your time and how you use your time.
Like Michelangelo, he didn't have money when he was just going to sit down in the cathedral and doing the painting. It was after doing the painting that the painting gave him money.
Mm-hmm.
And
That someone is lucky because they are great or you know their name. Because behind the stage, you may see singers and pop stars on stage doing it like it was easy. But behind the stage, you don't know how much hours these people have put into their music or their job or their career to become this great.
And you've also mentioned Michael Jordan. He was not having money when he was going to school, but it was because he was going to do the 2 hours before classes and after classes, and he was doing all the training. It is the hard work that later gave him the skills that people were exchanging money for. So it is the time he invested very well that later became the money that he had. But a lot of people in this world today want to have money first before they become great. But really, they need to convert their time for values, and that value they have converted their time into will give them the money that they need in life.
And I also learned that most of these things isn't just about praying. You need to work hard for it. Because I'm quickly going to link this to why you need to become a workaholic. Because in the book you mentioned a lot of people want to sit down and pray for greatness and not actually get up to work. So you can't expect to become great, or like Michael Jordan, he couldn't expect to sleep that extra 2 hours and then become great as Michael Jordan. He had to get up that 2 hours and work.
So if it doesn't work, sit down and sleep in the house, it doesn't work, and then he wants to pray that God will make him great.
Yeah, you can't expect God. God gave us brains for a purpose. He gave us hands and legs for a purpose, so we can get up and do the work. Because if God He didn't say life is going to be a walk through the park. There is going to be obstacles. There is going to be things you need to do. You're actually going to have to work. And prayer isn't always the answer.
Wow. The whole of Nigeria will need to listen to you. Okay, so what's your next lesson now?
To be effective and to be productive is not to waste time and live a life, but is to live a life of understanding and wisdom. It's not to waste your time. If you understand how to live your life, that means you must know that wasting time isn't an option.
Yep.
If you want a great life, then you have to kick out the element of wasting your time or using it for things you don't need to do. Because there's a lot of things we do during a day that we don't need to do when we can be using it to build ourselves.
Yeah, to add value to yourself, right? Is that are you in chapter 3 now?
I'm going on to chapter 3.
Yeah, so what are the lessons there?
So, discovering what you could do with your life can empower you in that. Discover what you want to do in your life. So, make sure to know what your purpose in life to be. If you want, and what helped me in this was, I read Who Am I?
Okay.
It will help you because I was talking with my mom and I just told her, and she told me that nobody can discover your time, and not even God can discover what you want, what your area of calling is. It is only you.
Yeah.
People can only say what they think you're good at or what they think you can do, but nobody can actually tell you your area of calling.
Yeah.
So you need to know yourself. And not everybody knows themselves. You need to sit down with yourself and know your area of calling so you can be great in it.
Beautiful. So the book, let me tell our viewers, this is the book we are working on. We are looking at how to become great through time conversion. So we have Joram Haruna today, who is reviewing the book for us. And yeah, go ahead, Joram.
I've got an example that begin to think on how you can maximize your time, and you need concentration and hard work through it. So it's almost like I put it as almost like a train going through a tunnel. That time converting is fuel for your train. But to get that fuel, you need to work hard and you need to concentrate on getting through to that light. But some people give up halfway away when a little more perseverance could mean you become great. But some people can't persevere that extra 2 hours Michael Jordan gave to become great. But if you want to beat being mediocre, you need to know that giving up your time is what you're going to have to do. Because instead of saying, this week I'm going to go out with my friends to the cinemas for 2 hours and then go to a restaurant for another 2 hours, that's 4 hours of your time. When you pick that hours to develop yourself in whatever your area of calling is, there is no restriction to whatever you want to do. You just need to know that you need to give up time. Begin to think, discover yourself and empower yourself there. And to empower yourself, like I said before, it's not about only praying. Because if you think you found your talent, great, go and work towards becoming great at it. You can't just pray that you become good at it. You need the practice. Every great person must have practice before becoming good at anything. And again, like you said, it's not about having money, because most of these people, the money came after. For instance, I know a few football players like Neymar, Roberto Carlos, most of these Brazilian players. Brazil, you wouldn't say is one of the richest countries. Yet you see these great people, these great footballers coming out of there with millions of dollars, and that rule of time converting doesn't affect where you're from. It just affects individuals.
The rule of time conversion doesn't affect where you come from. It only affects individuals. Beautiful. Beautiful. But yes, go ahead.
You can't sit down and say, oh God, I can't be great because I don't have the money. If you want the money, if you want the greatness, if you want the fame, walk towards it. That's the only way of becoming great. There's no shortcut in life. There's no way you can say, I'm not going to do the work, but I'm going to become great.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful.
So another point I learned in chapter 3 is, if you have the mission of writing a book, you're obviously going to want to spend time writing a book. Whatever you want to do, it almost is like a vacation for you. So if someone says, what gives you pleasure without you getting paid? What will you do for your life without getting paid? For instance, Thomas Edison, he was working in his garage so much. His wife said, go take a vacation. And the next day, she met him in the garage working again. And she was like, but I told you to go and take a vacation. And he said, working here is my vacation. Because he enjoys working there so much and enjoys working hard that it is his vacation. So if you see Thomas Edison, you know that he is the one who created the light bulb due to hard work.
Beautiful.
So hard work and your area of calling should be your vacation.
Beautiful. Now, since you want to become a professional footballer,
Yeah.
let's talk about that a little bit. You mentioned some names already of some great footballers. I think you'd admire them. Who are the present great footballers that you admire?
I like Lionel Messi because I know him is as he can be very humble when it comes to playing football because he's always respectful.
Yes.
I can hardly hear Messi doing something disrespectful to another country or to another team because he likes to maintain that cool attitude.
Yes.
When it comes to playing football. Ronaldo, not so much. He's good, but I don't really admire him as much.
Yeah. The same thing for me. The same thing for me. I think Ronaldo is good, but not as good as Messi, but also in attitude. You're right that Messi seems to be much more humble. But is it because
there's a few times Ronaldo's like taking off his shirt in a football match as a celebration, or made a comment to someone about how he's richer than them, and not a fan of those kind of things.
So, are you more a fan of Messi because of his values, because of his humility, or because of his skills?
He's got the skills, he's got the football player ability, and he's got attitude, he's got the behavior of someone who is a responsible person. He is like a role model, especially for young children.
But I think he has the greatest skill as well.
Yeah. It's always competition between Messi and Ronaldo. Sometimes I don't even know who to pick due to skill. But I like Messi's attitude. He says things that like I also Salah.
Yeah, Mo Salah.
Yeah, Mo Salah.
Do you know that Salah is doing a lot of humanitarian work?
Yeah. He went to, I think, Manchester to surprise some kids on their birthday. And he's very like, he always says, don't give up. Always keep going. And you eventually get where you want to come from. But what am I saying is, all of these people, it wasn't, they were not particularly, you would not have known about Ronaldo's family because of they were rich or something, before they converted their time to become these footballers, to become great. Because you can't get the kind of skill that someone like Messi has without time conversion. There is no way on earth that you can just earn that kind of skill overnight or through prayer. It is always that hard work.
Just like Michael Jordan, right?
Yep.
So I cannot just go and pray and receive it.
You have to know that praying is good, but if all we were meant to do was pray, why would God give us brains? We are not like robots who are just programmed to pray or zombies. Actually have to work. We have to come our time to become anywhere, to build the mediocrity world.
So the amount of skills and the specialty that these people have is correspondent to the amount of time conversion they have done in training and in preparation, right?
Yeah, I know footballers, a lot of great footballers actually, are not believers in Christ. But yeah, you look at them, you see where they are today. And they're so great.
Because they work hard for it.
They worked hard. And some people, I can't remember in your book, in Workaholic again, you said that in the Olympics or something, we are busy praying that God will give us favor to win race. When Usain Bolt is training hard in gym, when Usain Bolt is running laps around the pitch, instead of sitting down and praying. Yes, Usain Bolt may say a prayer, But that doesn't mean that he's giving up any time for his training and for his work and he's not giving up any time. He's converting all the time he can.
Yeah, yeah. So the lessons that you are learning in this book, have you started putting them to work for yourself?
When I started reading time conversion, I learned that sometimes I learned that sometimes I just want to take a break, maybe for a week and just enjoy the weather, go out. But then I realized that extra week could be critical for me. I learned that even like just 2 hours, Michael Jordan gave up more, and he became much over his peers, which were doing much better than him in the gym class. But yeah, it's not about again praying. It's about you. It's up to you.
So you
That's
shouldn't,
why
we must not lose any time.
it is up to you how you arrange your time. It's like a suitcase. I got this example of my dad. Life is like a suitcase. It's like everybody has that 24 hours. So everybody has the same size of suitcase. Now, if some people know how to arrange suitcases more than people, for example, me and my mom. My mom knows how to arrange a suitcase much better than me. But also that way, when we arrange our time, we become greater in life. The more we have 24 hours and our clothes and things we want to pack is a list of things we want to do during the day. Now, the way you arrange them into this suitcase is your choice. Some people are not able to fit everything in their suitcase, so you leave behind the ones that are less important and you put in the ones that are critical. Say you have a list in a day and this is your suitcase. So you want to do cinemas, you want to do restaurants, you want to do your book that you're maybe writing, you want to go to see your friend. That is maybe 12 hours of your day. And let's say all that, you try to fit it in your suitcase, but it doesn't work. You're going to have to remove the ones that are least important. Okay, take off going to a restaurant. I'm sure you have food at home. You can eat the food at home and skip that day. So there, you have reduced something that is less important to you, and you're making yourself more great by doing things that will develop you. So arranging the suitcase better, because some people will say, I want a break. I'm going to take out that time that I put aside for typing my book, and I'm going to go to a restaurant with it. So I'm going to give away my 2 hours that I'm meant to develop myself with. I'm going to give it away to going to a restaurant, and they take their suitcase of 24 hours and bam, it's gone. But people are putting all that time into the suitcase, and they become great.
Beautiful illustrations. Beautiful. So what determines the way we use our time then is our most important goals. That is our mission in life. So we put our mission in life as the priority.
Yeah. Importantly, everybody has to remember that on this journey with that suitcase you're taking of 24 hours, no one's going to pack it for you. Nobody's going to help you pack. You're packing it yourself. If everybody else is packing their own individual suitcase of a day, so you can't expect anyone else to pack it for you. It is you that is packing it for yourself.
Beautiful. Wow. So what are the other lessons you've got? Are you in chapter 4 now?
Yeah, chapter 4.
Let's hear some of those lessons.
Okay. It is easier for you to convert your time into product with all distractions.
Okay.
Distractions can be, it's even hard to say, but friends can be a distraction.
That's true.
Friends that you're really, really close with can actually be distractions to your greatness.
Yeah.
Another thing I can mention is David Beckham. Okay. Because when David Beckham was still in high school with all his friends, he got sick. Now, David Beckham had to leave school leave all his friends behind to pursue his greatness. Some people would have said, no, my friends can't do that, so I'm not going to pick this great opportunity for my life to become great. I'm going to rather spend time with my friends and with my life. And those friends, they can be doing their own development for themselves, but you're letting them drag you back. It's like insects in a farm. Some of them are trying to eat your plants and make them not grow properly. So it's like dragging you back. And instead of you to remove all the insects, you just leave them there and keep watching them eat your plants. That's like sometimes what people let their friends do to them. They just let their friends grow. You see your friends' farms grow high because they're converting their time, while you're letting all these insects nibble away at yours when you're not converting your time.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You can produce as many products as you want in your life. Just apply the principle of time conversion. It's so sad to know how simple it is to convert your time, but how people convert their time.
Yeah.
How people give up. And one of that I'm going to mention is your show. It is helping people's life, and it is not just something you decided to do one day and then stop doing it. Because your views must have started growing gradually without you giving up. Yeah. Some days at the start, I'm sure it'll be 10, 20, 30, 40 without you giving up. But you kept going until it became 400, 500. And it is a blessing to people. Yeah. And that is a product of you converting your time. And if people are just able to give up any extra amount of their time to become great, everybody wants to become great. But there is a secret. Time conversion. It's so easy yet so hard.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You know, the more I listen to you, the more I'm thinking, my God, I wish, all Nigeria, the whole of Nigeria will listen to you, the adults and the kids, all the schools, and that everybody will read my books. And this particular book, How to Become Great Through Time Conversion. Yes. I want you to continue.
Okay. You're born for more than just living in mediocrity and dying after your time has evaporated. You are born to convert the evaporating life into some impact on the human race. For instance, Isaac Newton, he left a mark in history because that time, that apple, he may have given up his time in science and things like that, and he was able to see, because some people, obviously, something may have fallen on them, and they're just like, that fell on me, and moved on. But because he was a deep thinker, he thought about that. What makes that apple just fall on my head without anything making it fall on my head? That's when it hit him. Gravity. So someone must have had to come up with that, and he was able to think like that because of all his time converting in his area of science. Because during his time, there would have been some more scientists, but he was the one that was able to crack the code of gravity because of how much research he put into his work.
Beautiful. Joram, I'm thinking, apart from football, what are the other passion or other interests that you might have in life?
I like flying planes.
So if apart from becoming a footballer, you also like to become a pilot or try to fly planes?
Yeah, but I want to I also like the mechanical side of things. Like I was having a chat with my dad, and he said if you were able to fix something with planes, what would it be? And like eliminating plane crashes. I know it's one of the least things that happens, but it still sometimes happens. So he said, so if it's like 2% of plane crashes that happen, it would be better if somebody made that 0.1%.
Yeah.
So everything can be improved. And people, when you think about things and when you're able to convert your time, you make things better. And making airplanes safer for people would be also actually one of my dreams, because I love airplanes since I was little. I've always liked them. I've always liked flying on planes. I've got this thing my dad bought for me on the iPad, an infinite flight, and it's like he was willing to give up some money to buy stuff if it meant that it helped me develop my passion. So I like flying, and yeah.
But the mechanical part of it, that means it's not just flying, but actually building it, building
Yeah.
and repairing, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, the mechanical side of things, just plane or anything.
Most planes, but I still like cars, but I think I prefer to look at planes because of how much more things, how much bigger they are. And it's like fascinating to see that people, pilots, like can fly with pressure, because it obviously pressure. Being in a metal tube with 104, 120 people's lives, it must be pressure. So I would like that it took less pressure off people like pilots. So if there was like a course that could help people like pilots, even like train drivers, reduce like pressure, it would be greater. But you have to look at, it's not just the pilot, it has to be the plane or that vehicle too. If the vehicle isn't working properly, there's nothing the person in charge of it can do.
So you like challenges. The bigger the challenge, the better for you, huh?
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Joram, I'm thinking that by the grace of God, that you are going to definitely leave your mark in the history of your generation.
Thank you.
Yes, and especially for you to know these principles so early. Some of these principles that you are talking about right now, it took me minimum of 30 years to learn them. So, when I was small, like you, 11 years old, I never even knew that principles were guiding life, that lives were built on principles. And I was just wasting life. So, but thank God I woke up on time. I woke up when I was 19 years old. That was when I began to take life more seriously, and I began to learn the principles and follow the principles. But for you, you stand a better chance to even do greater things than myself. So,
But again, like I was talking about with my dad earlier, this if I hadn't started reading your book, I knew the time not to waste your time. But when I read your books, that's what it actually became serious to me. I never took this very seriously about converting your time and giving up this much time until I saw your book. How to become great through time conversion. This is really when I started to take it seriously. Because now I know that wasting your time indirectly is wasting your life.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And do you think that you would like to encourage other parents to encourage their children your age to read these books?
I think that if kids like my age see that how it's impacted me, I think that it will encourage them to read your books too.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Wonderful. Excellent. You know, I have little children, but they are no more little now. The smallest is now 16, and so actually, she's 15. She's 15. So but when she was 11, 9, by the time she was 11, she has also written books and things like that. So people were always saying, how come your children are like this? And I told them, it's easy. The principles are the same. Teach them the principles. Let them read the books. And the same thing I do with my own children. I make them to read the books and come back to me, and we do review together.
That's the same.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like that. Every Friday, we have our every day we read for 30 minutes.
You read the book 30 minutes with your dad every day?
No, individually, there's 3 of us. There's 4 of us, but the last one is 4, doesn't yet read properly. So we read 30 minutes every day, and we come home. Every Friday, we review the books with our dad. We review the things we've learned during the week, and I think it's very helpful because not to yourself, you can share these things. I get to share them with my sibling, and sometimes when my mom is at home or when my mom is there, we review it with her too.
Wow. So not only you is reading the books, huh?
No, we all read the books.
And you all get to share what you have read with your parents. Beautiful. Okay, we go to chapter 5. Yes.
To own something and not to be aware of it could not only be annoying, but it could be fatal too. I read this in the introduction. Everyone is almost standing on a treasure chest, but people don't acknowledge that. And that can be very fatal for you, because it is not only that you got countless treasures under you, is the fact that it is great change to your life. But it's so sad to see that people don't bother to try and dig for that treasure chest. They just leave it under themselves and try and do things that don't really help them. And I'm going to link this to one of your other books I've read, which is Why Not Work for Sam. Because sometimes they don't swear, from what I've learned, that sometimes people work for a peanut back their whole lives for the government and only receive a peanut back, when you can work for yourself and develop yourself to be something good, so you're not just earning a pay that the government decides to give you, but a pay that you have deserved.
I think this is a big shame for people who don't read my books. I hope everybody that is watching this program now have to quickly go and be looking for these books. And especially, you can read my books for free. All my books are available on Kindle Unlimited for free. You can all read them for free, but if you don't want to read them on the Kindle Unlimited, you can buy the paper books on the Amazon itself, or you could write to my office. It's actually cheaper to buy the books from my office than to buy from Amazon. And the way to buy from my office is to write to dssbooks@gmail.com. dssbooks@gmail.com. DSA is DSS books, one word. dssbooks@gmail.com. So if you write to that email, you'll be able to get the list of the books and buy as many as you want. But there are a lot of books, and you can see that Joram, as young as he is, has already read quite a lot of my books. 6 of my books already. Now let's continue our lessons on this book, How to Become Great Through Time Conversion.
Okay, so your time, there's 3 things you can either do with your time. You can invest your time, you can spend your time, and you can waste your time. Those are the three things you can do with your time. Now, most people waste their time. Wasting your time is when you're just doing things that isn't developing you or even bringing into you. Spending your time usually means working for Uncle Sam or working for someone else to get some salary. That is spending your time. And then there's investing your time. If you spend your time, spending your time isn't bad. But when you spend all your life and all your time, that is when it becomes bad. You need to spend some of your time, and maybe you earn that money that you need to start investing it. And then you start to become great when you start to invest your time. So those are the three main ways to use your time. and everybody can become great. There's just there's a core number of hours which you need to hit, which is 10,000 hours.
Right.
I read about this from Malcolm Gladwell.
Yes.
The 10,000 hour rule.
Yes.
Now that is a call that some people like Michelangelo have beaten.
Yeah.
But 10,000 hours is the basic call you need to hit to become great. In no matter in what field you want to do, you can hit 10,000 hours to become great. If you try to become great in being an author or being a footballer or great mechanic, like the Wright brothers, the people who invented the plane, they spent hours, countless hours in their garage, taking scrap metals, screws, building things, until one day they effectively built a craft that could fly and was run by petrol and fuel. That is how you know the Wright brothers, because they spent that much time in their garage together, building and working and researching history of flight. There was always things to do with flight, but there was no powered flight that could last over an hour at that time. The only other way of flight was helium, which wasn't very safe to transport people. Yeah. So, but they were able to give up that time and research all about they knew about flying and beat all the researches that they had learned until they became so good in what they were doing that they actually made a craft that could fly and be controlled by man.
Beautiful.
So that is 1,000 hour rule they hit to become great. Because I can tell you for sure, it wasn't 1 hour. It wasn't 100 hours. It wasn't 1,000 hours they spent in that garage building and researching. But it was 10 hours and more. That is what I know about how you can become great. Thanks to the 10,000 hour rule. So I'm on chapter 6 now.
Yep.
So if you want to give birth to any discovery, inventions, or if you want to become great at anything, you must start practicing solitude. Like I said, your friends aren't always what you need. Sometimes it is alone you need to do your things. Because Michael Jordan, he didn't wake up along with his friends in that morning to go and shoot hoops in the park. I'm sure he was growing up with friends playing basketball, but he was the one that became great. They even has a part of Nike or a multi-million dollar company for the shoes Jordans, because he had become so great that someone is paying him to use their name on a product. So that is solitude, working alone and developing yourself. Solitude, as I discussed with my dad today, is self-development. And so it's linking itself in chapter 7. So that is like a brief introduction to solitude in chapter 6. And then it goes to solitude and self-development in chapter 7. Without solitude, with solitude, you are able to focus and concentrate on one thing and become the best. So again, your friends can be that distraction. So you need to go alone and do that thing you want to do. You need to lock yourself up in that closet and type that book. You need to sit down in your room and paint that painting. You need to sit down and design that house, like Charles Rennie Mackintosh, if you've ever heard of him.
Yeah.
He was a great architect from Glasgow. He did loads of great stuff, made the chair for a high back chair, designed a house for great people, just because he said, I am going to invest my time and become great at this. That is how he became great. And he didn't become great because his friends told him, or he worked with his friends. He did most of it alone. And he became great.
So is that what you do when you read your books?
Yeah. You need to put, if you want to become like a mathematician, or a scientist like Albert Einstein, you need to be able to read for these periods of hours or study that chemical for hours and not giving up. That is how you can become great. Because some people, it would be honestly easy if you sat down and you became great overnight. But I'm sorry to say, that is laziness. If you can't be bothered to sit down in your lab, or if you can't be bothered to go to the park to practice your basketball or your tennis, or go to the pool to swim laps and to swim back and forth and practice your front crawls, back crawls in the pool, or if you can't be bothered to go test out your shots, to go do your skills, then I'm sorry to say, but you're a lazy person and you will never become great with that attitude. Your attitude needs to change before you become great. And self-development is what also makes you great in school. And something I can say is you will never be taught this in school. You will never be taught that when you work alone, when you work hard, you become great. Sometimes in school you say, maybe if you're lucky, you become great. Something like, if you're lucky, you become great. If you convert your time, you become great.
Well, I want to ask you a question before we go ahead.
Yes.
I asked you about football. You don't know yet if you want to play for Scotland or Nigeria. But what about in general? Because I'm afraid right now that you are going to remain in Europe with its capacity and the abilities and the potential that you have. I'm afraid that you might want to stay in Scotland or in Great Britain, and Nigeria might lose out. And I'm thinking that we need you in Nigeria. The country, the whole people of Nigeria will need you. So I want to begin to campaign for you to consider doing something for Nigeria. Have you ever thought about that?
For now, I've not really actually thought about national team. What I've been thinking about is by 15 or 16, max 17, I want to be at least signed by a professional team.
Wow.
Like even a League 1, League 2 team. I'm not even looking for championship or Premier League. Anything that you need to start at the bottom. You can't start at the top or the middle.
Right.
Anything that I can get by an early age, I'll be happy and joyous for it. And like David Beckham, I can't let things like friends get in my way. I need to focus on what I want to do.
Wow. So do you have the extra time to practice also?
For my club, my football club, we have trainings on Saturday in the morning and Wednesdays in the night. But because you're growing, they want to add it to Saturday Wednesday, and Friday.
So apart from the club, do you do some training by yourself?
Yeah, I do training. Usually I go to, we have somewhere called a pitch, community center there that people are allowed to use freely. They have, there's a swimming pool nearby. There's different sports places. But there's one not like 2 minutes away from my house that I can go there with some of my friends or go there alone and practice football there.
So that's the way to stay on top, to stay at the edge.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you are not thinking of the country yet. The same thing with my children.
Yeah.
The same thing with my children. I'm trying to let them know that we are Nigerians, but they always tell me that our dad is Nigerian. So our parents are Nigerian. They don't know yet. So I say, what about you? They have not decided yet. So, but they are ready to help me since I want to go back to Nigeria, maybe just to help me, but they don't know yet where to represent. But I see your potential and my children, and I'm not just thinking of my children and you, but I'm thinking of all these children that are growing up in Europe and diaspora and overseas. And I'm just praying that, oh God, let them remember Nigeria, because Nigeria really needs people like you. All of you are needed for Africa right now. But okay, let me hear some more lessons that you want to tell us.
I have a personal lesson apart from what I've learned in your book. In school, there's different things we like do. We have like sometimes you do plays and like short films in school that is like you have to use your time to practice these things. But since I'm in the top of like highest class, last class in primary school, I am actually head boy of my school.
Oh, wow.
But it was very close with some people. There was 2 other boys that I was going against with, and the school had the vote, and we had to each do a speech. And to my surprise, my teacher told me after we all given our speech that in 4 years, I was the first student she had seen that hadn't read my speech off a PowerPoint or off a notes. I practiced that speech with my mom and dad almost every night for a month. So that is just to show that I needed to convert that time. Or if not, I probably wouldn't have gotten that head boy or that school captain position. But when I encountered your books, it really helped.
Beautiful. So now you stop at solitude. Is that the last lesson you have from the book?
I've got chapter.
You have chapter 9?
8, 9, and 10.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so in chapter 8, the whole world will stand to give us way if we are top and if we practice the rule of 10,000 hours.
Yep.
The world will know you're someone who knows what you're doing.
Yes.
Because everybody wants to be great. There is no questioning in no one. Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be famous. But you think that if you're not placed in that lucky zone in life, you'll never become that person. But really, it's just no hard work. These football players may come out shining in their beautiful and their beautiful kits and their designed boots by themselves, costing them hundreds of pounds and dollars. And you may think, wow, look at that person. They are so lucky in life. Or you see pop stars having diamond rings, diamond necklaces, costing them $500,000 just for something they wear around their neck, and you say, wow, this person is so lucky. But they may appear with that wasn't hard face. But on the inside, they must have spent countless hours working towards becoming what they are today, working towards becoming ever playing on that Real Madrid pitch, or ever coming on that Orlando stage, or ever diving into an Olympic swimming pool. It might only be dreams for them until they start putting in the hard work. That is when it becomes reality. And that is what we need to know. Dreams don't become reality without work. So that is what I learned in chapter 8. So in chapter 9, I learned that after deciding on the territory or on what you think you want to do, you must invest time and develop yourself, because finding out isn't enough. Finding out, discovering what your talent is great, but that is not all. You need to do more. It's like planting a seed. Putting the seed into the ground is a start, but it is not how you grow a seed or a plant. If you put oranges into the floor, you need to water those oranges every day. So when you discover your greatness, you planted that seed, but without converting your time, the seed will eventually die. So the practice and the time conversion is you watering that seed to make it grow into a sapling, into a baby tree, and for it to flourish, and then for it to grow fruit and reproduce. So that is another step to becoming great. If you allow someone else to convert your time for you, which is working for Uncle Sam, then you'll never become great, because that's your own sweat going away to someone getting richer, while your sweat goes back and you get a peanut of what they have. So self-competition. If you see somebody in your area of field, you're not trying to compete with them, but it's yourself. Are you okay with where you are today? Do you want to be greater? Yes, you want to be greater. But are you okay with the way you're walking? No. Increase. Always grow. Always dream. Growth mindset and fixed mindset. Fixed mindset is I have arrived. I am there. Nothing like I am there. But the growth mindset is going to keep on growing until it is the end of my journey. That is a growth mindset. And that is how you become great. It doesn't matter what your calling is. It doesn't matter if it's sports. It doesn't matter if it's writing. It doesn't matter if it's maths. It is all the same rule of 10,000 hours. And it's all the same rule of time conversion. That's what I learned in number 9. And again, for the people who are watching this, if you're still unsure of who you want to become or of what your natural talent is, go and check out the book, Who Am I? It helped me discover who am I. It helped me to be certain. Check that out.
This book right here.
Yeah, that book. Great book. Why are you here? Why are you in this journey? What makes you on this journey of life?
Beautiful.
So I'm on my last chapter now.
Yeah.
Chapter 10. So when you run for your life, you become the one deciding how to use your time. So when you start your own business, that someone will say he has his own thing that he's doing in something that is specializing in. For you, for instance, you're doing things on YouTube and Facebook, and it is helping people. So that is your area of calling. This is what you're spending your time doing. Spending your time writing books that are developing people. That is what you're doing. And for instance, I probably would never have heard of you if I hadn't used up your time to write your books. There's people that even they dream for their name to be known at all. But there is some people that will know their name because of that working role. Maybe they are not famous as the pop stars you always see, but they have already started putting that time in, and that is a start. That is a kickoff. You can always improve, but as long as you are trying and you are working hard, that is your start. But never forget and say, yeah, this is my start. I can't go any further. Yes, you can. Everybody can go further. Everybody can do something more. And this is my main point and the most striking things I've learned in the book, How to Convert Through Time Conversion.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, 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 wow. I want everybody that is watching this program to go and share. Please go share this message, because you need to show this to your kids. If you have children or you have grandchildren, I think it is only proper to have a copy of this video and then to begin to practice the same thing. See, I think this is the biggest legacy you could give to your children. Knowledge, wisdom. I mean, there is no amount of money, there is no amount of school education you could give to your children that will be as deserving as making them to read and study for themselves. And yes, go ahead.
From what I've learned in school is that they are not going to try and teach you that become great is the way you spend your time. All they're trying to teach you is be good at maths, be good at English, and you have so they put you in that mediocre position too. But when you come in when I came in contact with you, I know that life is a beating me of becoming the best you can.
And you don't need much money to make your children have these books. I mean, you can have them on Kindle Unlimited, even for free. But even to buy the books, they are not too expensive, less than $20 each one of them. And you could, give your children, your grandchildren a heritage, a future, a destiny. Can you imagine? There are a lot of adult people who don't have the knowledge that Joram is having right here. Joram is having. There are a lot of people who don't have 10% of the knowledge he has. Even when they are 50 years old, even when they are 40 years old. When I was his age, definitely I didn't even have 1% of the wisdom that he's having right now. But to see that this is an 11-year-old boy and has read not just one of my books, but 6 of my books, and not just one of my books, but 6 of my books. I'm sure there are people on this platform who have not even read 6 of my books. But that's why you are unique. That's what has made you to be so. Now, can you tell me, Joram, how did you start? How did this whole journey start?
So, well, we were going to Winners Living Faith in Edinburgh. And so I forgot to mention this, but I'm really enjoying myself in children's church. So I told my mom that I didn't want to go to church. I told my mom straight I didn't want to go to church anymore. And my mom asked me what was wrong. Was everything okay? And I told her, no, everything wasn't okay.
Wow.
I wasn't enjoying myself in church because of the way people and I were treated in the church. Because the examples we got in church were like all the pastors and bishops and men of God you hear about, so-called men of God you hear about, are great and they can never be wrong, and that you cannot compare with them. But I told my mom that, and my dad came in contact with you on YouTube, and he started watching you, and his eyes then opened. He woke up to see that, yes, I also heard about tithes and offerings, and I agreed with it wholeheartedly. That there's no amount of money you can give to God to become great or to become healed. Because God, in the Bible, it said, through my stripes you are healed, not through the money you pay.
Wait, Joram. Wow. First of all, you said you the example you saw in the church, this is so profound. My God. The example you saw in the church is that pastors are put on a pedestal. They are, yes.
Our people in the church, this girl in my church, in the children's church, she forgot her Bible at home. So the teacher was shouting at her and saying, "Would you think Big Oyedepo would ever forget his Bible?" And I said, he might, because he's human. And if she forgets her Bible, I cry. She's also human as well. And things like that, I wasn't comfortable with me. The teachers were not very the best. They didn't have what it took for me to. I preferred actually secular teachers. And what I was told was the house of God.
Wow.
So if I'm in so-called father's house, why wasn't I enjoying it?
Beautiful.
But then my dad watched you on YouTube, and my dad agreed. And my dad knew that it was time for us to move. So he told my mom that he wasn't comfortable with any of it. At the start, I didn't agree with him.
Yes.
At the start, my mom thought he was kind of jumping with conclusion or acting on action because he had some issues, things going on in the church as well, with some of the doctrines. And so until my mom, her eyes opened too, when she read some of your teachings, she saw that it's true. I seen one of your guests that he was told that if he didn't pay more to the pastor, they wouldn't pray for his brother.
Yeah.
And he paid the money, and his brother still died.
Yeah.
And there's no amount of car or money you can give for God to bless you. God has already blessed us. We are the anointed of God. God never asked his disciples for silver or gold before. The man on the cross beside him, he didn't say, give my disciples 20 pieces of silver and I will meet you in paradise. He forgave the guy's sins and said, I will meet you in paradise. Wow. He didn't ask the guy for anything.
Joram, I think I have to speak to the audience right now, the adults that are watching me. I know that a lot of adults that are watching, they actually know that some things are wrong in the church, but they compromise. And they compromise because they say their children must have a place to go. They must take their children to church. But they don't know that their children are being conditioning. They are conditioning that church environment you are taking your child to is conditioning them to become mediocres. Did you hear what Joram said? That in the church that we go to, they paint a picture that the bishops, the GOs, are the Superman, are the ones who are supernatural. And we are just the ordinary people. We will never be as good as them. The pastors, they are the ones who are the great, perfect people. And we will never be perfect. So can you imagine a child growing up, seeing a scenario like that, seeing pictures that is telling them that they will never become anything in life? It means that you have already conditioned them for failure. Either it's going to be in sports, they will never be competitive because they will already be thinking in their mind like there are some people that are meant to be good, but they are not. It's going to be in education, they will never be the best. So if you see that your children, are seeing these things that are happening, it's time to run for your life. It's better to sit at home and do like this. Study the Bible and study these books with your children than be going to those churches where the wrong information is being deposited in their minds and where that is going to cripple them mentally for the rest of their lives. So actually, by listening to Joram today, I'm just thinking that the church environment is actually more hazard and more dangerous to your children than you could imagine. These things are crippling your children. These things are destroying your kids. So it is high time to begin, for the sake of your children, to begin to move away from any environment where you are not being celebrated, but where you are being put down, especially where small children are being put down. Hear what Joram said. He said that even he prefers his school teachers, secular teachers, than the Sunday school teachers. and he didn't want to go. I'm sure there are a lot of parents that are listening to me today whose children also have been telling them that they don't want to go to the church services. They don't want to go to the church or school, Sunday school or something, and we force them to do it because we think that the church must develop our children for us. No, 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 no. Go and listen to my family series. If you have not listened to the family series, go and listen. And go and listen to the interviews from my children as well. You discover that no, it is what you put in the children that will make them to be who they need to be. It is not the church that you raise your children for you. It is you that you raise them up by the principles you put in them from home. It is the working that you do. It is the work that you do with them at home. Not just reading the Bible alone, but reading the literatures, books, and things that will develop them to become their best. That is what has made Joram who he is today. So what would you like to say to that, Joram?
And I also would like to add that there is still out there churches that are still there to help developers. We're from the church called Destiny.
Okay.
We go to there because we enjoy it as a family. We all enjoy going there. Because I am actually looking forward to there to go to on Sundays. Because usually I wasn't enjoying to go to church on Sunday. And on the news when in winter for us, it was snowing heavily, and there was this church that they took in people off the streets into church and put them in the hall, heated up the halls, and gave them food, warm drinks for the period of time until the.
But these churches are not Nigerian churches.
No, they are shared churches where everybody feels comfortable around here. And the same with the church we now attend. They are building an orphanage in India with the money they get through the offering. And when I was in Winners in Living Faith, if as a child you didn't have your offering, you were not allowed to collect offering or to lead any praise and worship sessions.
Wow.
But here everybody is even said every Sunday that feel under no obligation to give.
Wow. That's what the church tells you?
That every Sunday it is said in this, they feel under no obligation to give. Just sit and mingle with people in the church, have fun with people, pray with people, talk to people, not painting a picture that they are better than you. And I even have a friendship with almost all the pastors in the church because they're so social and interactive.
And they are not saying that you are a kid, you are a baby, you are a child.
No, they want to fellowship with us. They want to talk with us.
Wow. So that's a lesson, especially for Nigerians who are living abroad. I don't know why they want to just go to African churches, because there are normal European churches that are human beings, that are normal churches. And that's what you are saying now, that there are churches that are normal, European churches. But a lot of these Nigerian churches, unfortunately, they are being influenced by the culture. And that's why the problem that we're having. Well. Now, my last question to you, Joram. Are you planning to watch the World Cup this summer?
I'm excited for the World Cup.
But that's going to be your first World Cup, right?
Huh?
Is that going to be the first World Cup you are going to be watching?
No, I watched the 2014 one. I even collected the card for the 2014 one.
But you were young that time. Now you would understand better.
But I've always liked my football. I didn't do the 2001. First one I actually watched the 2014 one, which I watched. But I've seen some of the other ones, some of the videos on YouTube and that. But this is the second one that I'm going to watch live, and I am collecting cards for, because there's like cards for the country. I'm just collecting them for fun. But there is actually a prize for the 3 people. There's 3 people who, if you can collect all the cards in the book, you get a free, every World Cup they do, you get a free space in wherever they're hosting. So this year is in Russia, so you would be getting a free space in Russia. It will come. I'm just collecting for fun.
Do you want to watch as much as possible, or just would you want to just watch some few countries?
I'm not looking out to watch all of them. I watch a few, and if I don't see the match, I'll see the highlights.
Yeah. Beautiful. Wow. Your parents have done a very good job. Your dad and your mom have done a very, very good job. What are the ages of your other siblings?
I have a 3-year-old brother, which is, as you know, can be annoying, but still my little brother.
How old?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. And next one?
I've got a 10-year-old sister.
3?
A 10-year-old sister.
10-year-old, okay.
Yeah. And she enjoys doing gymnastics. She does a lot she's participated in some competitions, has a few medals for it. And
Beautiful.
I have a 13-year-old who is away on army camp because he is the cadets.
Okay. How old is he?
13.
13, okay. Beautiful. Wow. Joram, you have surprised the world today. You have wowed the world. I'm the more proud of your dad and your mom. I didn't know. And this whole thing started less than a year, maybe 6 months ago. And,
yeah.
And in such a short time, your whole life, your mom, your dad, everything is changed. I am so proud of you. Better. Wow.
Yeah.
Good luck. God bless.
Thank you.
Bye.